Now, before it was one flight per month, but now we saw that two flights per month, and most of them are usually from Baden-Württemberg. Most of the deportees, when you check the list, every deportation, if it is 35 people, know that 22 out of 35 are from Baden-Württemberg. If they are deporting 24 people or 25 per flight, know that at least 18 of them are from Baden-Württemberg. So basically, why Baden-Württemberg?
Well, this has a historic reason. At the very beginning, the different states in Germany had a different jurisdiction for different countries. And at the very beginning, it was Baden-Württemberg and I think Saxon were the only two states that processed the asylum applications of Gambians. This is why no matter where you registered, so where you initially registered in Germany, they transferred you to Baden-Württemberg, most of them to Baden-Württemberg and some of them to Saxon. And this is why we have disproportionately more Gambians living in Baden-Württemberg than anywhere else in Germany. And of course, Gambians that are still in the asylum case, because we know when you're in the asylum, moving to another district is already a problem, but moving to another state is really a challenge, and only when there is really valid reasons will they grant that. So most people were registered in Baden-Württemberg, and still till this date, since they're still either in the asylum or have a rejected asylum, but they don't have a legal stay, so they've never been allowed to move somewhere. They can travel, but they cannot live and work in another state.
So basically, this is a big challenge for migrants who are living in Baden-Württemberg and probably in one way or the other would like to move to another Bundeslands, basically based on these regulations, but I call them bad regulations, basically. And Babel, deportation. When we always talk about deportation, I always said one important aspect of it also is how can we prevent people from getting deported? What are some of the measures or what are some of the best practice that a migrant, somebody who is today sitting in a heim or in a camp or in anywhere within Germany and with this dilemma of deportation, what would be your advice to this person?
Well, okay, to prevent deportation, the best method has always been integration. As hard as it is, abide the laws. So don't get a criminal record. Learn the language. This is really a very, very important part. You need to speak the language. It's going to be very hard to find a good job if you don't speak sufficient German, and it's not going to be possible for you to get a legal stay unless you have a minimum of A2 German. So integration, learning the language, maybe volunteering, just exceptional measures are rewarded still. So this is the good news about it. If you really make exceptional measures to integrate, this will get rewarded and you are given a chance to integrate and to get a legal stay. For those who missed their chance, for those who are in toleration now and for one reason or another do not have the opportunity to get either the opportunity residency 104C. I'm sure you've heard about it, this 18-month residency for people who came here before November 2017, if they have a mostly clean criminal record. Or the 25B, which is now reduced to 6 years in the country and 4 years even when you live in the same household as underage children. Mm-hmm. So this is the good change in the law, but some people, for one reason or another, cannot get those stay-in permits. And for them, the risk increases the more they have in their file, put it this way. So if you have a criminal record, in particular, if the criminal record is more than 50 daily rates, if you have a prison time on your file, if you're not working, if you have a toleration, what is it, 60D, I think it is, for people with uncleared identity, things like that will put you high on the list. So it's not a matter of if, but only a matter of when you will get deported. Now, there is a chance, if you have cooperated to a certain extent, you gave your passport, and so you can keep your work permit, but the risk is still there that you might get deported. And if they pick you up, a lot of people who have passports do actually get picked up for individual deportation, which means it's not a chartered flight. They put you on a regular economic flight, and there you actually, from what we've gathered on information from people who've gone through this, there is possibilities for you to resist successfully. Don't resist when they pick you up. Don't resist when they take you into the airport. You start resisting either when they drop you off after the check-in. That's when you can basically walk out. So if they dropped you off before you were even on the plane and they have left, then you can leave too. Nobody's going to stop you there. If they take you into the plane and they leave there, you can also say you want to leave the plane again before it takes off. Now, if the doors are closed and you're not off the plane yet, this is your time when you actually get active. This is when you start telling everybody around you that you don't want to be on this plane, that they're taking you against your will, that you ask the flight attendant that you want to speak to the pilot. You make it very clear that you will not stay quiet. You make it very clear that you will raise hell in this plane if it takes off with you in it, that you will be a risk for everyone around you. And pilots, European pilots at least, they have the direct instruction from the Pilots Association not to take anyone against their will. So for a European pilot, actually, it's enough when a passenger says, I don't want to be on this plane. Some other pilots, like maybe Air Morocco or so, might be different, but they also are bound to the rule that they cannot take a passenger that would endanger other passengers.
Exactly. I think, and this is a good information and a good tip for the immigrants whom they are in the risk of deportation. Individual deportations, we had a lot of experience now, and we know a lot of people whom they use these preventive measures not to get deported. So
we need to add one thing. It's not gonna end a deportation for good. So this is just this deportation on this day, what you stopped. When you get back to your place of living, the first thing you need to do, you need to contact your lawyer and see to it that you make some kind of an appeal or something, or file for a hardship application with the Hardship Commission, something, because just because you were able to stop this deportation doesn't mean that they will not pick you up again, and next time they might put you on a chartered deportation flight. And people, let me tell you this, if you are on a chartered deportation flight, don't resist. The only people you're going to hurt is yourself. There is 3 police officers for every deportee. You will be shackled on hand and feet, and they will even drug you if you start getting noisy in the plane. So the only people you hurt there when you resist is really yourself. Exactly.
So this is a very sad. I always say this is the sad reality about deportation. During the process, we had and we experienced from we had complaints from the people who get deported. That police like they brutalize them anytime you insisted in chartered flights. In chartered deportation flights, like what my comrade colleague said, this is the reality. In a mass deportation, if it is not only you, this is a special chartered flight, only to deport you directly to your country. In this instance, your chances are almost null, zero, for you to escape from this deportation. I mean, if you are controlled, if you are at the airport, there is no way usually. So basically, we don't advise people in this situation. Yes, we know it is hard. We know the frustration. We know the whatsoever you're going through at that time. But what we are saying is, however hard you are, however strong you are against those police officers, some flights will go to Gambia, to Nigeria with more than 100 police officers. That not one, not two times. They almost all the flights, each deportee is like 1 to 3. One deportee controlled by 3 police officers. And these are not just a small police officers, like, I mean, 18 people like me. These are physically, when our people explain to you how these people, these are special police officers, special team, reinforcement team. They can brutalize you. So many deportees arrive in Gambia with broken hand. Some with deep injuries. Some will even tell you there are special handcuffs. Not just these mere handcuffs. There are special handcuffs, like she explained. And I got pictures and videos from some deportees whom they secretly took some of these pictures and videos of during when these police are brutalizing them. Okay, so basically, what we are saying is, in individual deportation, if you are arrested individual and they are taking you through individual deportation, definitely in this circumstance you can resist. And sometimes it works, But here again, one point I would like to add, Babel, that is, sometimes, even in this individual deportation, even if you resist, sometimes they don't just leave you that very moment to go home. In many cases, they will, the pilot will ask you to go out, but in fact, before taking that decision to go out, they will call the police to come and wait you at the door of the aircraft. Basically, it's like you go out of the flight and you are rearrested again. So in so many cases, when those police arrest you at the airport, they will call the people responsible for your deportation to come and pick you at the airport. And usually you are again transferred back to Fort Time. The only advantage in this process is, like, now you have a time if you have a good lawyer. Sometimes. Yeah. We saw in many cases some lawyers fight. In few cases, we saw, in fact, after spending more than 20 days, some even more than one month in custody at Fort Time, they are later released because of the because of their lawyers and the team. Everyone helping them.
Not just the lawyers, it's always, and this is where integration pays off.
Yeah.
Because if you have, if you are integrated in your society where you live, you have people there fighting for you too. So it's not just going to be your lawyers, it's going to be your employer, it's going to be your football coach, it's going to be your teacher, your friends, your co-workers, the volunteers. We had cases where a whole village went and just turned the world around to make this boy to give this boy a chance to stay here, and it worked,
Absolutely.
So this is where integration pays off, when you have more than just your Gambian friend, when you are part of the village that you live in.
Absolutely. So this is why it's always important, to our comrades should understand this. Our brothers and sisters, the immigrants, should understand this. Wherever you are living, try to be inclusive. This is inclusion. Integration equally means inclusion. Be included in the society. At least try to do certain things that at least will put certain marks there for you. Sometimes most of us, live in small villages. So for a whole village to know who you are, sometimes it's not even very difficult. I mean, if you are doing it in a good way, in a good manner. If you are having a family, take care of your family. Take them to kindergarten. That alone shows a responsibility of you. If you are living in a village and you are working there, be patient, be nice, have that team that surround you. Integration doesn't only means like I can speak the language. No, you can speak the language whilst you are committing crimes. You can be at work whilst you are committing crime. It means so in a hell lot of things. It means you are actively involved. It means you respect laws. It means you know the language or you can speak the language. It means you're working. It means you respecting your neighbors. It means you build a friendship with anywhere you are in that environment. All those things support you whenever, sometimes in cases like this.
Yeah. And again, especially with the 25B. 25B is for exceptionally integrated migrants. So for people who have been here a certain time, have a rejected asylum, are in toleration, but are well integrated. And if you cannot meet all criteria, but you over fulfill another criteria, for example, this can balance it out. Mm-hmm. So if you maybe are not working at this time for one reason or another, but you are exceptionally well integrated, you speak fluent German, you are coaching the Little Leagues game, a team of the soccer team, you are an active member with the Red Cross, you are maybe volunteering or doing things, you are a respected member of your society there, this will add in your favor and will get you the chance, although maybe you are not meeting all criteria for the 25B in this moment. So, like I said, integration is really very, very important in not just in getting a legal stay here, but of course, as our topic is today, in preventing your deportation. So,
Babel, I would like to also, hence we're talking about deportation. Some people might ask, somebody who applied paragraph 104C, the new chance offender, or paragraph 25B, somebody who applied this, but he or she is yet to receive a decision from the Ausländerbehörde. Can this person be deported?
Theoretically, yes. So an open application is not a protection. However, in Baden-Württemberg, for those who applied for the 104C, this is particular for the 104C, before June. So anyone who has applied before June for the 104C, they are protected from deportation until there is a decision made. It doesn't mean that it automatically gets approved, but it means you are protected until they make the decision. And we all know in some Ausländerbehörde it's better, in a lot of Ausländerbehörde it's really bad. I know the people here in Stuttgart, they are just they're crying basically, because anything you want from the Ausländerbehörde takes a year, and I'm sorry, I'm not exaggerating here. So if you file for a legal stay, it takes a year for them to decide. You can't get a hold of them. They don't respond to emails because they have a backlog of 20,000 emails in their inbox that are not read yet, because people keep sending emails. No one is answering the phone, so you can't really get into the Ausländerbehörde anymore. So things like that, it's really hard at the moment. But I know I also get contacted from a lot of people. They're saying, oh, I applied for it at the beginning of the year and I haven't heard from it. People, patience. If you've applied for it, it's in the making. And if you applied for the 104C in Baden-Württemberg before June this year, then relax. And that is the thing, even if the authorities make a mistake to pick you up, your lawyer has you out of there within 2 days.
Yeah.
So this is, even if they pick you up to get you to the airport, you call your lawyer, the lawyer can stop the deportation because you have a right. That it's the government said, we're going to protect you. So it is from the Baden-Württemberg government that said, we're not going to deport people that applied for the 104C until the end of May.
Thank you. Before we take a short commercial break, I would just like to add this thing. Yes, the paragraph 104C. There are so many people receiving this now. So, of course, like my colleague said, it's just a matter of patience. If you apply for it, some will say, yeah, I did it since January. Yes, I know you did it since January. But then please have a little bit patience. Wait for them. Some Ausländer Behörden have a lot of excuses. They will take excuses of Ukrainian, blah, blah, blah. They will take so many unnecessary excuses.
It's not really excuses.
Yeah.
They are, I mean,
useless.
Cross districts, no matter, it's not just Stuttgart, it's in everywhere you go, and it's not even just the Ausländerbehörde, it's public offices are really understaffed and overworked. You have to see 1 million, over 1 million Ukrainians were coming in.
Yeah.
They had to be processed by the Ausländerbehörde, by the Meldeamt, by the Arbeitsamt, by whatever offices.
True.
So all of these offices, wherever, got 1 million more, and 1 million more in a really short time.
Absolutely.
And they were to be prioritized, which means everything else got pushed onto the back burner.
Yeah.
And they're just now getting to it.
Very true. So basically, what we are trying to say here is people are receiving this. It's real, it is law, and it's just a matter of patience. Please wait for it. If you apply, at some point they will get back to you. So brothers and sisters, it's happening. I in records, I know more than 900 Gambians that receive 104C. So basically that's a lot. And Nigerians are also, in fact, more than that in records. So basically what we are saying here is, please, brothers and sisters, have a little bit patience. After our commercial break, we will continue.
Only underground radio station.
This is Radio RFM.